Let me do what I did last time and look back over the tablet first. The victim is Wolfgang Ackeray, the ultimate lawyer. He was discovered in the boiler room on the other ground floor. He is kneeling in the water and his upper body is slumped over this concrete platform. Estimated time of death is approximately 9:35 a.m. It still pissed me off seeing everything except the cause of death listed, especially when I knew the reason why. Those who's definitely compensating for the killer, probably because they failed to hide their own tracks. And withdrawing information might be his way of balancing the odds. Who's to say they won't be abused? Regardless, Wolfgang's cause of death should be treated as the crux of this mystery. If I can figure out how he died, then everything else should fall into place. Tozu Tablet 2 has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your Tozu Trinket. Why don't I just say my watch? Alas, poor Wolfgang, the guiding light of the ultimate students, snuffed out in an instant. No use crying over it though, there's a mystery to be solved. Like any true investigation, important evidence won't always be visible on first glance. Should you ever find yourself stuck, press F3 to view the game's control, or just press F just to see which one are interactables. By the way, any truth bullets you obtain will be logged by your Tozu Trinket, which can be accessed anytime by pressing F1. Okay, sure. You know, in case you needed the reminder, that's all from me. Bye-bye! Bye, Tozu! Okay, first things first, let's talk to everyone. Winona, you're still here? Is there a problem with that? Why does she need to frame everything I say in the worst light? I'm preparing to hold a one-on-one session with Ulysses. I was consulting him about something important before we were interrupted by the announcement. Is that what you were doing before the blackout? Repeat that. The blackout. Were you still with Ulysses when it happened? You're not speaking any sense. There was no power outage. Huh? She can't be serious. That blackout affected the entire building. Unless... Let me rephrase. Where were you when the murder happened? Where were you? At Cassidy's game tournament in the dining hall. Really? Not what I expected. We stayed there up to and including the time of Wolfgang's murder. Okay, so you're at the garden. Sounded like she had an alibi then. As for the location she mentioned, I assumed this entire building complex connected to the one generator, but it made more sense for that tree area to have its own separate system, hence why it didn't lose power. What about the courtyard though? Was anyone there at the time of the blackout? Blackout has been added to the truth bullet. What about you, John? Oi! Take a whiff of the air. Ain't there something off about it? I followed his instruction and sniffed the air. It smells like burnt rubber. Cause of the busted generator, yeah. But that's not what I'm talking about. There is another scent. A real bitter one. You might actually be onto something. It's almost like cereal and rubbing alcohol. Indeed, I'm suspecting a mighty chemical reaction at work. Huh? I've had my fair share of troubles across the sea, and I'm no stranger to foul play. There's no stench worse than the one of the disastrous combustion. Thing is, I got no idea where it's coming from. Really, the smell is supposedly that of a chemical reaction. Where else could it be coming from beside the busted generator? Unless John's conclusion about the smell is wrong. I wouldn't put it past him. Odd smell. Okay, odd smell of chemical reaction and cereal? That's probably from the kitchen. Because there's a vent there. The generator over there is partially submerged in the water. I think we should be wise to say on this platform. Was he worried about the water being electrified? Evan and I managed to stand in it way back when. I don't see why now would be any different. Then again, the generator wasn't damaged last time. Yeah, since Wolfgang is kneeling in the water, we should avoid touching him. You don't know for sure if the water's unsafe. Huh? Before you start making conclusion, you should experiment first. Saying that, Eva walked over to a pile of boxes and pulled out a light bulb. Oh, I see what you're doing. Sure enough, Eva went straight to the edge of the platform and threw the light bulb into the water. See? It's not lighting up. That means the water is safe. I see. Then I suppose it's safe to inspect Wolfgang. Are you going to? I think I will observe from afar instead. Now is it the time to be listening to your nerves. There was blood speckled across the floor. I didn't notice it at first due to the room's restricted lighting. But now, after my eyes had time to adjust, it couldn't be more obvious. Looks like it passes into the hallway too. I'd completely missed this during the blackout. Speaking of, after the body discovery announcement, everyone barged into the boiler room through this door. Yet, these blood spots don't look smudged. I'm guessing they were already dry by the time any of us got here, in which case, could this be Wolfgang's blood? Blood spots has been added to the truth bullet. Taser gun? Pretty random thing to be lying around a crime scene. It definitely wasn't in the boiler room prior to the murder either. Did that mean this taser gun was involved in the murder? On closer inspection, nothing about the gun looked particularly strange. Had it even been used? I'm pretty sure taser gun dispense some kind of wire when fired. Nearby were some yellow piece of plastic on the floor. They were the same shade of yellow as the taser gun. Had this originally been attached to it? I can't tell where they would fit on the gun though. Never mind. What's the point in making guesses when I can just get him to confirm? After all, someone who's a pro at wielding guns should know them better than anyone else. 100% Desmond. Taser gun has been added to the truth bullet. Okay, so I'm going to ask Desmond about the taser gun. Half of the generator's internals had melted away, and what still remained was almost completely signed. Yeah, this was definitely the cause of the power outage. What could have melted the wires though? It looked like a bomb had gone off in there. Now that I think about it, during the game tournament, there had been a loud bam right before the blackout happened. Similar to a firework going off, or someone firing a gun. Did I overhear the sound of the generator being destroyed? Nothing else near the dining hall could have made that kind of noise. I don't think. Generator has been added to the truth bullet. If my assumption is correct, the generator would have been destroyed around the same time the murder was committed. That's suspicious as heck. There's no way the two events aren't connected. But I'm also working purely off my memory of the boom. To be absolutely sure, I need to know when exactly the blackout occurred. Okay, so temporary pause. I just had to fix a few things on my recording part because it was not recording the game sound. So here goes, guys. Enjoy probably a 10-minute of no sounds. Why did you move over here? It's... I feel it is highly important we investigate anything and everything we can. That is why I moved over here, to investigate. From afar? More like he didn't want to be near Wolfgang's body. In what was a first for the investigation, something other than fear appeared on Ulysses' face. It was curiosity. What is it? Look at the floor in front of the door. What is that? Is that a hairpin?
Seriously?
This is just a small piece of scrap metal.
You think?
Even so, it's still part of the crime scene. It necessitates documentation.
It's not important.
Seriously? Something this small means nothing. No. Everything should be looked over. It could have come from the generator or the pipes above us. Ingrid could have been carrying it for all we know. This guy, there's so much here he could actually document, and instead he's focusing on some flimsy fields of metal. All the more reason to rely on myself. Well, there's nothing bad if we just take the thin piece of metal to the truth bullet. A knife? Why was a knife floating in the water? On the blade and in the surrounding water, I could make something out. The unmistakable color of blood. There's no doubt about it. This knife must have been something to do with the murder. Why was the knife was here and not actually on the platform? I had no idea. Knife has been added to the truth bullet. Chunks of something red were floating nearby the generator. It almost looks like metal or maybe plastic. Were these originally part of the generator? The colors and material don't seem to match though. Shrapnel has been added to the truth bullet. What even is a shrapnel? There's a cord in the water. Judging by the length, I think it's an extension cord. What is this thing happened to the other end of it? There was no internal plug, just a frayed tip lined with a black substance. Had the cord been burnt? I didn't see this cord in the boiler room earlier, so it probably came from someplace else. One of the storage rooms, maybe? It wasn't always in this condition, that's for sure. All the items we've been provided so far, light bulbs, speakers, a fridge, they've worked perfectly well. So what happened to this cord? Why was it even in the water? Extension cord added to the truth bullet. Alright, it feels like I've given the boiler room a good rundown. Which means... Ooh! Just yesterday, Wolfgang was talking with us, eating breakfast with us, and now he's gone. Who had the resolve to commit such a needlessly brutal thing? To go so far as to mangle his body? I couldn't unpack it. I didn't know how to. This wasn't just some dummy I had to investigate. This was a real person. It was so far out of my expertise, let alone my comfort zone. Do you want to inspect him? Oh my goodness. Did she really have to scare me like that? Yeah, I do want to inspect him. It's just the idea of getting close to him. I'll investigate with you. It'll be safer for both of us that way. Right?
Right.
Right. Bro, what happened to you? Wolfgang laid completely still, his face frozen in a look of horror. His once bright eyes were shrouded in darkness, and his mouth was open, as if he had been killed mid-scream. Ava's expression said it all. Wolfgang did everything in his power to make us outcast, and make the worst of us, at times. I even hated him for it. I still hate him right until now. But this brought no relief to either of us. Wolfgang, what happened in his final moments that left him so terrified? Was it the realization he was about to die? Mulling over what if won't bring me any closer to solving Wolfgang's murder. Right now, my focus should be to find evidence. And that begins by investigating his body. With the way Wolfgang was slumped over the platform, it almost looked like he had fallen on top of it.
Focus.
Let me see if his palms are stretched. As I knelt down to take a closer look... Huh? Trickling out from under the cuffs of Wolfgang's sleeves and onto the rest of his hand, strained injury that looked like a lot of tree sibling. Was this burnt mark? When I looked at Wolfgang's other hand, I saw the same thing. Marking that seems to extend down the arm.
The hell?
Eva, look at this. Let me see. Yeah, burn marks. That's really horrible. They look like gross little veins. What inflicted them? There's a taser with a little ways off from where we're standing, but I couldn't find anything to indicate it's been fired. So the only other thing I can think of is the generator.
Is that really true?
Why the generator? The thing has clearly been destroyed by something. Maybe Wolfgang got caught in that something, and that's how he died.
Not sure.
I'm not sure. The generator seems too far away from where Wolfgang is lying to cause burn like this.
Look at this.
Plus, the room's water isn't conductive, so electricity couldn't have traveled through it.
Right.
You're right. Anything able to melt the generator's wires would have burnt his suit to a crisp too. Exactly. I think Wolfgang received these burns outside the boiler room. There's just nothing here that could leave these markings. As for the actual place he got burnt, guess we'll have to try and find it ourselves. That is, if such a place even exists. While it's possible the generator may not have been involved in the murder, it seemed unlikely that Wolfgang made a detour for the boiler room after being severely burned. After all, burns like this will definitely paralyze someone. Burn marks added to the truth bullet. As for Wolfgang's palms, they didn't have any markings on them. Still, he must have fallen somehow. Why else would he be lying on the platform? Now that I think about it, the place where Wolfgang laid was odd. What were the chances he would end up here, between the only opening on the fence? The one spot where he could kneel over like this. Was it possible he had been trying to climb onto the platform before he died? It's strange why he didn't use the stairs though, and even the stranger that he was even in the water. Why were you in the water anyway? Wolfgang's suit was completely crumpled, a far cry from his once clean appearance. Water had seeped into the pants, completely ruining the fabric. As I leaned in close, I spotted a folded piece of paper sticking out from his back pocket. Though it was soaked, it wasn't completely destroyed. I really don't want to touch him, but with my thumb and index finger, I snatched the paper out of his pocket, taking care not to brush my hand against his body. This is probably the blackmail. I gingerly folded the paper, aware that some of the wetter spots could fall apart immediately, and found a message written inside. That's some very ugly handwriting. Do you recognize it?
No.
A lot of the text is unreadable. Whoever wrote this probably used a low-quality pen. Although, at the bottom of the page, fragments of a message were still visible. Secret, 8:15 a.m. Boiler room, close the door. Doesn't this read a lot like a command? It seems like someone wanted to arrange a private meeting with him here.
See.
Could that someone be the culprit?
Not sure.
8:15 a.m. That's a long time before the time of death though. Maybe there was a struggle, or maybe Wolfgang arrived late.
There must be something.
Either way, this message is definitely a valuable clue. It's our only insight into Wolfgang's movement before his death. Well, now I really want to know where everyone was at that time. I woke up at 8:30 a.m. this morning, so I was asleep when this meeting was scheduled to happen. It's only 35 minutes before the tournament. Cassidy, Jet, Mark, and I would have already been in the dining hall. Right, setting up equipment. As for the other students, directly asking them where they were at 8:15 might be risky.
Where?
Because they would wonder where we got the time from. Exactly, and I'd prefer to keep this note between the two of us. At least, for now. Suspicious note has been added to the truth bullet section of your Tozu trinket. You really don't know, like, all four of them set up the equipments, like at what time? Exactly at 8 or earlier? So probably they could still be the culprit though.
Anyways.
I just need to ask every single one of them like what time they were before 8:15, like probably after the announcement maybe. Anyway, this thing about a secret, what do you think that means? Well, I'm not really sure. It could be referring to anything. Anything, huh? You know what it means.
I know.
I have an idea. The author of this letter might be talking about Wolfgang's blackmail. Huh? If they claimed to have it, they could have baited him here without much issue. After all, Wolfgang asked us to meet with the person whose blackmail we had.
Strange.
A derelict boiler room is a pretty ominous place to meet someone, though. It would have been Wolfgang's first time here, assuming he didn't explore this floor beforehand.
What could it be?
Either he didn't see the super obvious danger in meeting here alone. 100% if it's the boiler room, the only suspicious ones are me and Ava. Because both of us know what the boiler room looks like, and I doubt anyone has come here before. And he did realize and just didn't care. Right, does that change anything about what I said? Well, duh. If Wolfgang knew the warning signs, his reason for coming might have less to do with integrity and more to do with desperation. Desperation? To know the details of his blackmail, it would stand to reason. If only Wolfgang had hidden this note somewhere safe instead of bringing it here, it would have been valuable evidence. I doubt he could have envisioned something like this happening. He was never really on his guard during this killing game, except around you and me, I guess. There didn't seem to be any strange markings on Wolfgang's face. However, along the back of his neck, what's that? Was a massive bruise. That looks like a real bad injury. Almost his entire neck is discolored. Right, how did he get this on the back of his neck? Nothing around seems to have left it. This might sound morbid, but what if it's a sign of his body decomposing? Can a body really decompose this fast? It could, or it could not. It probably depends on the environment, as in the temperature.
Correct.
Cold places are generally better at preserving things than warm. Humid areas like this boiler room, kind of like dairy products, that's a good comparison. A tone-deaf one, but sure. Wolfgang didn't have this bruise yesterday, at the very least. If he did, it would have been super noticeable.
Fair.
Yeah, true. Turning my attention back to Wolfgang, I caught something else on his body. Near the mark on his neck, but not directly overlapping it. A red dot? Is that a beauty mark? Doesn't look like it. The skin around the dot seems to be inflamed. It reminds me of a pop pimple. The sort of wound you could easily inflict on yourself. Then you don't think this is related to the murder? It might not be, but judging by the lack of scabbing, this was inflicted pretty recently, so we may as well keep it in mind. Wolfgang's neck has been added to the truth bullet. That seemed to be everything I could gather.
Hello.
Hey Damon, since we've inspected the boiler room, we should find the students who left and ask them for their testimonies. They went upstairs to investigate Wolfgang's dorm, right? Yes, because of what I said earlier. The victim's last known whereabouts are the best places to search for clues.
Okay.
Alright, let's see what they've been up to. Apart from collecting testimonies, there were two other matters on my mind. One, getting Desmond to inspect the taser gun, and two, pinpointing exactly when the blackout occurred in case it happened at the time of the murder. I walked over to the boiler room door, which had been left slightly ajar. But as I began to pull it the rest of the way open, I noticed it. The doorknob, something about it. Look different. Hey Ava, the doorknob, I think it's been flipped. Flipped? Are you sure? Take a look for yourself. The first time we woke up here, I'm pretty sure this lock was on the inside, not the outside.
Is that really true?
How would someone be able to flip the doorknob though?
That's...
By unscrewing it, probably. Okay. Why didn't you say something earlier? What do you mean? This is the first time I've noticed it.
Is that really true?
Really? You didn't notice it back when you were entered the boiler room with Kai? No, not even then, because it was pitch black. It might have been because of the darkness, or my own nerves. But back then, I wasn't paying attention to small details like the doorknob. All I wanted to do was enter the boiler room.
Anyways.
I know that makes me sound stupid.
Listen to me.
It's okay. I probably would have noticed the doorknob had I been there, but that's beside the point. Wow, there's so much inversion here. Alright. Anyway, this discovery paints an interesting picture. Since the lock was now accessible from the hallway, you could technically lock the boiler room shut without ever stepping foot in it. Meaning that if you wanted to lock someone inside the boiler room, all you have to do is lure them in and close the door behind them. Interesting. Boiler room doorknob.
Moving on.
Come on, we need to collect people's testimonies before the investigation ends. Right, let's go. As a million questions rattled away in my mind, I followed Eva out of the boiler room. Actually, Eva, before we go upstairs, it's probably worth checking out the storage closets first. Why?
I know.
I found something in the boiler room that might be related to them. The cord. Judging by the length, I think it's an extension cord. But what happened to the other end of it? There was no internal plug, just a frayed tip lined with a black substance. Had the internal end been severed off, and the cord burnt after? I didn't see this cord in the boiler room earlier, so it probably came from the someplace else. One of the storage rooms maybe. That extension cord, we should confirm if it did indeed come from the storage closet.
However,
But first, I want to talk to Cassidy. You want to talk to her? Yes, I want to talk to her. Is that bad? She wasn't much help last investigation. Well, any help is better than no help. Fair. Alright, I'll talk to Cassidy first, and then I'll investigate the storage closet on this floor. Alright, fess up, Cassidy. Did you do it? Cassidy was pacing around the hallway with a finger on her chin, seemingly doing nothing.
yo!
Hey guys! What's with the optimism? A murder just happened. Sorry for not noticing you sooner. I was performing a super sweep down on this here hallway. That's a lot of words for wandering around aimlessly.
Listen to me.
Can you put your sweep down on hold? I have a really important question. Let's hear it. I don't drag it on too long, okay? Gotta finish my sweep down before time's up.
You see?
Do you remember who attended your tournament? The game tournament? Huh. Everyone who has slated to join kept their word, so we had a full house.
What about...
There were 8 people in total. Jet, Mark, Grace, John, Kai, and the 3 of us.
Huh?
Something on your mind? Well, since the murder happened in the boiler room,
Well?
wouldn't that mean everyone in the dining hall has an alibi?
Ooh.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of that. She's totally right. Since we split into pairs while investigating those rooms down the hall, every pairing can vouch for each other.
Right.
Right, we all split up. What were the groups again? Jet and I explored Storage Closet B.
Eh?
Storage Closet B?
Check it out.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's called on the map. Does she mean the map of the Dozy trinket? I activated my trinket, and sure enough, see? Storage Closet B. There's also Storage Closet A, C, and D. Those are definitely the rooms we explored.
I see.
I see. In that case, Kai and I must have explored Storage Closet C. I remember it clearly. The 2 of us checked the closet above and opposite the one Cassidy searched. According to this map, the only closet to fix those perimeters is Storage Closet C.
Correct.
Grace and I investigated closet directly next to Damon, so we must have been inside Storage Closet A,
Yeah.
which leaves Mark and John with Storage D. Yeah, that makes sense. Storage Closet has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your Dozy trinket. You know, Damo, since you're here, what's the deal with you and the boiler room? What? When Kai told us party pips about Wolfie, he said you two went inside the boiler room.
How?
The heck did you do that for? You were supposed to check out the storage closet.
No.
You're not casting suspicion on me, are you? No way! As far as Cass is concerned, everyone is innocent until proven otherwise. I investigated the storage closet with Kai. We just didn't find anything inside.
Anyway.
Although, we did hear someone round down the hallway.
Am I hearing you right?
For real?
Bit.
Weird, I don't remember any footstep.
The truth.
I do.
Really?
Eh? Ava, did you really? I heard them while Grace and I were investigating the storage room next to yours.
However,
I just brushed it off as my imagination though.
F.
Yes, me and Jet must have been talking over them. Were those footsteps the reason you entered the boiler room, Damo? It's Damon, and yeah, they came from the direction of that room, so I wanted to see what the person was running from.
Real?
Ooh, really? I will just chase after the footsteps. I mean, entering the boiler room after something like that, you weren't scared a murderer was hiding inside? What I actually discovered wasn't much better. True. Then whose footstep could those have been? I don't know why anyone would wanna be running around those spooky hallways, let alone in the dark.
What about...
Unless, maybe they're also looking for a backup generator.
That's not important.
I doubt it's that innocent. Considering the place of this person ran away from was the crime scene, those footsteps were probably the killers. You mean fresh off committing the murder?
Right.
Fresh off the murder, or a bit after, depends what we went downstairs. Either way, whether it was immediately after the murder or not, for a brief moment, the only thing separating us from Wolfgang's killer were the storage room walls. That's creepy to think about. Footstep added to the truth bullet. Thus, bit by bit, the mystery slowly unravels. No need to thank me. This all in the day's work. He didn't even do anything. Alright, let's check all the storage closets. First one, what storage closet is this? I think this is A. Maybe? Okay, this is storage closet A. Yep, I'm correct. Yeah, let's take a look around. As I began to inspect the shelves, the glint of something shiny caught my eye.
That's...
Huh? Ava, look! There's a rolling pin here, and handprints on it too.
Strange.
What are you implying? That someone used this recently, and not for its intended purpose. Look, can you see how the handprints are at the base of the pin? You aren't rolling much though if you're wielding this thing like a tennis racket, are you? The pin is also really dusty. If it came from the kitchen, it will be clean like the other utensils there. Yeah, agreed. Not only that.
Please.
Right, there's a dent on the pin too. Really? On the end opposite the handprints, can you see it?
Weird.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Handprint and a dent. That's definitely not a coincidence.
Focus.
Could this bin have something to do with that mark we found on Wolfgang's neck? If it was used to knock him out, it would not only explain the dent on the pin, but the bruise on Wolfgang's neck. How did it make its way into this closet though?
Huh?
What do you mean? How did the pin make its way into the closet after the killer used it?
There
Oh,
must be something.
I mean, if the footsteps Kai and I heard were the killers, they probably chucked the pin in here on their way out.
Absolutely
That's not possible, because Ava and Grace were here.
Huh?
If the killer entered this closet and hit the rolling pin,
Listen to me.
Grace and I would have seen them. Of course, she and Grace were investigating this closet at the time. What if the killer placed the pin in here before any of us came downstairs? I have to take note of that.
Save it.
If they were out in the hallway, why didn't they use that as their chance to escape? She's right about that too. Could this rolling pin be really unrelated? But it lines up so well with the other evidence. Still rolling pin added to the truth bullet.
Moving on.
Okay, I don't think there's anything else in this room. Let's keep investigating. One moment she's speaking nonsense, the next she's totally coherent. I don't think I'll ever understand this girl. Yep, there is nothing to check in here. Okay, this is storage closet B.
Interesting.
The map says this is storage closet B. Alright. The closet Cassidy and Jet explored.
Look.
Do you see that?
Huh?
See what? The box in the corner over there. Look. Confused, I turned to where she was pointing. This is... I think I know what it is.
Yeah.
A generator, right? The one you were referring to during the blackout?
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. Since I've explored these rooms before, I knew one of them had a backup generator. How do you know that?
That's...
If this closet has the backup generator, wouldn't that mean the ones who restored the power?
Thinking,
Well,
thinking.
if Cassidy and Jet were the only people who entered this room, then they're the people who brought the power back. I'm surprised those two actually knew how to navigate the generator. I mean, that's normal for Jet. I mean, he knows some stuff about drag racing, so of course there's a battery included on his race car. So generator is nothing for him. Storage closet has been updated to the truth bullet. This was the closet Kai and I explored. It was hard to get a good look at its contents in the dark, but seeing it now, there doesn't seem to be anything important here. I think we can move on. Okay. No, not okay. Can I see anything else? Nothing. And this is closet area... What closet is this again?
Look.
This is storage closet D.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark and John explored this one. Let's see what I can find here. Is there anything weird about this room?
That's...
I think I see something behind this pile of boxes. I stood on tiptoes to get a better look and... So, they really are here.
Well,
What's here? Extension cords, a whole bunch of them. Yeah, these are definitely the same type of cord I saw in the boiler room. Only difference is, these still have their other half intact. Huh, the internal plugs are pretty slim compared to the other kinds of cords. The fact these cords match the one in the boiler means the killer must have unrummaged through this closet for equipments. For what reason they needed the cord? I had no idea, but this was still a step in the right direction. Extension cord has been updated. Besides the box of cords, nothing else about this room is standing out to me.
so...
Do you want to move on?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. We've looked through all the closet now.
So...
Did you find anything you needed? Yeah, I did. The rolling pin and the stack of extension cords, there's no doubting their relevance to this case. At least based on what I've investigated so far.
Anyway.
Ava, let's go upstairs and collect some more testimonies.
Where?
Finally. Heading upstairs would be a bad idea. There are things in this hallway I still need to investigate. Oh, okay. I can't use my senses in here. No. There's dried blood on the floor. For some reason, it seems to pull right around this particular spot. Dried blood? Like in the boiler room? You notice the blood in there?
Correct.
I notice you noticing it.
See.
I see.
So,
So, who do you think left all this blood behind?
Focus.
Well, it can't be Wolfgang, can it? Considering the sort of injuries he sustained, it wouldn't make sense for him to have spilled a lot of blood.
There must be something.
Which means the only possibility we have left with it
what
is
could it be?
the blood belongs to someone else? Yeah, exactly. Blood spot added to the truth bullet. If I didn't notice the blood here, would you have pointed it out to me?
Eh?
Huh? I would have pointed out to you if the roles were reversed. That way, you'd know not to step on it.
Right.
Sure, I'd point it out.
Thanks.
Thanks. Is there anything else in this room? Okay, there was nothing else. As Ava and I emerged from the basement, on the lookout for anything which could aid us in our investigation, we saw Illinois. Right in front of us, a flustered Illinois was huddled in her back to the wall. Standing next to her is Desmond. Sup, you guys? Might wanna lower your voice around here? Some stuff has happened. What do you mean by stuff?
What could it be?
Is something wrong? Sorry, Illinois had a bit of frightening experience recently.
Think?
I think we all have. Well, yeah, the scene downstairs is bad, but I'm talking about something else. Something else? After Tozu left, we tried going inside Wolfgang's room to look for clues. But the moment we stepped in, she suddenly pounced on me. She? She dragged me out and Desmond ran after us. I haven't been able to get my heart to stop beating so quickly since... Hold on, this she you're referring to.
Shit.
Yup, it's Grace. She's been guarding Wolfgang's dorm ever since she kicked us out. Grace was blocking access to Wolfgang's dorm? Why? We can't let her bar us from entering his room. The class trial could start at any moment. That's what I tried telling everyone else, but they pretty much gave up. Jet and Mark went to the dining hall, Diana went to the laundry room, and Toshiko and Ingrid went to the courtyard. Illinois and I, though, we're not gonna let this slide. We gotta get inside that dorm room. So, we have been brainstorming other ways to approach Grace.
Think about it this way.
And we've landed on something. Performing a brief inquisition. Inquisition? If Grace doesn't want to cooperate, we'll start badgering her with questions. Poke at her ego until it eventually retreats.
Safety first.
If you want, you can join us. A debater must be good at dishing verbal beatdowns, yay? I did come here to inspect Wolfgang's dorm, so I might as well. If that's the case, I'll go to the dining hall and ask Jet and Mark for their testimonies. You're not coming along?
Where?
Grace isn't someone I'd like to be around with. You three can handle her. Something tells me she's just afraid of her talent being mocked.
Right.
No sweat. Have fun with Jet and Mark.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye, Ava. Ava left in the direction of the laundromat, clearly taking the long route to the dining hall. Should we approach Grace then?
Totally.
Yeah, let's not waste any time.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Do you want to take the lead, Damon? Oh, sure. I wasn't going to admit it to either of their faces, but their plan seemed pretty half-baked. Not because I was going to face off with Grace, but because she was too. How could a bumbling person like her be of any help in a verbal showdown? If anything, she'll probably make us look uncoordinated. I guess I'll have to do most of the heavy lifting here. Since Grace was guarding Wolfgang's door, she should be right around the corner. I mean, I can already see her right there. Don't you two yuppies get it? You're not coming in.
Get it mixed up.
Hang on, we're not here for that. Damon just want to ask you a question. He isn't coming in either.
Jeez.
Why not? I need to investigate Wolfgang's dorm room.
Soybean.
Back off, Soybean. His room is none of your business. Except it is. I have to search his last known whereabouts, which includes his dorm room by default.
See that?
What if I said I've done the job for you?
Again.
As in, you've searched the room? High and low, wanna know what I found? Nothing. For us to believe that, we need to see it ourselves. You think I'm lying?
Just saying.
There's a chance you could be, unfortunately.
Okay.
Huh? Think about it. You haven't given us any reason to believe you. Someone who's got nothing to hide wouldn't be acting so protective right now, you know? It gives the impression there's something you really don't want us to see.
Anyway.
Also, couldn't this be considered breaking the rules? Tozu wants this game to be fair, but being prevented from searching every room doesn't seem very unfair.
Trust me.
Even if it isn't, what are you gonna do? I'll report it to Tozu. Let's go, snitch!
You.
Makes sense.
Nice idea. What do you say we look for him now? If Tozu agrees to this is sabotage, we might call Mara to help. Oi, it's not sabotage. I'm not hiding anything about the murder. Don't try to get me involved. Desmond never mentioned Wolfgang's murder.
Anyway.
Look, just let us into the room. If you're telling the truth, we'll drop our suspicion.
Gotta stay one step ahead.
The reality of the situation is, we've gotta invade Wolfgang's privacy if we wanna know what happened to him. We will want to investigate our dorms if it were anyone else who died. Grace stood there silently, gritting her teeth. Then she stepped away from the door. Yeah. Sweet. Thanks, Grace. With sighs of relief, we entered Wolfgang. Let's go, Tolner! You did the heavy lifting instead of me. What is this? So this is Wolfgang's dorm. While some of my expectations were correct, a lot about the room still surprised me. I anticipated the layout resembling my dorms and the decor reflecting his talent. Why is it not clean? There are so much clothes around everywhere. The couch, sofa, even on the floor. What I didn't anticipate was how messy it was. Well, maybe not messy, just really casual. Room that clearly been well lived in.
Oi, you.
Don't move things around when you inspect them. I want to keep the room as is. To be honest, I'm not sure why I was even surprised. They did something, 100%. Clothes were scattered across the room, including a familiar-looking woman's jacket. Nothing about them looks suspicious. Are you sure about that? Something definitely happened in here. What's up, Damon?
Hi.
Hey, can you check something out for me?
Easy enough.
In here? Or
That's not it.
in the boiler room? I found a taser gun in there.
Are you for real?
I can't tell if it's been fired or not. I don't think it has, but I want to know for sure, because if I'm wrong, then this taser gun was used. It might clue us into the nature of Wolfgang's death.
No kidding.
What we're talking about is that a big deal, huh? Yeah, since you're skilled at using guns, I figured.
All good.
No sweat. I'll see to it once I'm done here. Thanks for the heads up, Damon. No problem. Desmond is a really cool guy. I like him. Alice was kneeling on the floor, sorting through Wolfgang's bedroom ottoman with a serious look on her face.
Hi.
Hey, can we talk for a second? She closed the ottoman and stood up, now wearing the same nervous expression she always did. Is there something wrong? I want to know your whereabouts during Wolfgang's murder. When the murder happened, I was with Desmond in the courtyard. The courtyard? Yes. You can ask Desmond to confirm if you're confused. No, I'm fine.
Simple.
Let me just ask this. What were you doing during the blackout? Blackout? Yeah, you did experience it, right?
Not.
No, I don't think there was ever a blackout. We were only alerted to the murder because of Tozu's announcement.
I see.
I see. So my theory was right. If Winona never experienced a blackout in the tree room and Illinois never experienced a blackout in the courtyard, both those buildings must be connected to an entirely different power source. Blackout has been updated in the Truth Bullet section of your Tozu trinket. Normally she'd be meeting my eyes.
Quit it.
I know you suspect me. I can tell by the look on your face. Oh really now? But I don't know anything about his death. To be in the dark like everyone else about a person she has so close to. Get a grip on yourself, Damon. Grace can claim to know nothing about the murder, but what about everything before it?
Anyway.
So I heard a rumor you became Wolfgang's new bunk buddy. This room seems to confirm that. How was he this morning? Grumpy? Happy? Sick? Huh? We were planning to go to the game tournament, but he woke up with an ache in his stomach. He woke up sick? Oh, I see. So, if you're telling me the truth, and Wolfgang planned to attend the tournament,
That's not it.
why did he say the opposite yesterday? From what I remember, Wolfgang said he'd be too busy to attend the tournament because he's going to meet the killer! More like he wanted another round at the pachinko machine.
Watch and learn.
I would know. I interrogated him after breakfast. What? That's seriously what he meant.
Yeah, okay.
Which was why I told him, hey, no, let's do the tournament. He was a bit finicky at first, typical for a soybean, but he eventually caved. Wolfgang was a pachinko player? I'm not sure I can believe that. I mean, like father, like son. Then again, some of the paraphernalia in this room look neither golf nor law related.
Okay.
Alright, so based on what you're saying, Wolfgang agreed to attend the tournament yesterday. However, come this morning, Wolfgang remembered the pirate was attending, so he suggested I track down that guy and partner with him instead.
Right.
Right, because you needed to bring a partner to the tournament. Wolfgang, he knew I was miffed about it. His smile said as much. But I walked out the door anyway.
Dumbass.
Wolfgang said he was too sick to get out of bed, so I walked away. He was just pretending to be sick because at 8:15 he was about to meet the killer. If Wolfgang really had been bedridden, how did he wind up in the boiler room? Either he didn't come to his own volition, or he was never sick to begin with. Yeah, pretend to be sick! By the look on her face, I could tell Grace realized the same. With all that said, it wasn't like Wolfgang to hide anything. For a guy who's so gung-ho about honesty, you'd think he would confide in the person he's closest to. Did the letter I find inside his blazer pocket have something to do with it? Probably. While only a few words were legible, a lot could be gleaned from them. For example, that mentions of a secret. Did the rest of the note elaborate on it? Or was the word alone enough to scare Wolfgang? Maybe he wanted to shield Grace from information even he couldn't handle. Or maybe he simply didn't want her to know. Whatever the reason, Wolfgang Ackray deliberately hid information from someone. Ironic, huh? Grace's testimony added to the truth bullet. Well, that's all I could find. Why was Grace so antsy about people entering? There didn't seem to be anything suspicious lying around. In any case, since I'm done here, I should be head to the dining hall. I'm pretty sure that's where Eva said she was going. As soon as I entered the room, Eva walked over to me.
Hello.
I've just finished talking to everyone here. Anything important?
Rage.
Nothing important. I don't think Jet and Mark are taking this seriously. This might end like the mock trial where only a couple people know what they're doing. Does she really think so? While that information definitely didn't bode well for me, I couldn't afford to be discouraged by it. Not unless I want to die in this game.
Focus.
I'll see if I can make those two talk.
Thanks.
Good luck. Alright, 3 people, but before that, let's see what I can interact with. Is it me, or is there something funky about this place?
Come again.
What? I don't know, man. Everything feels kinda off. I can't place why though, and it's bugging the crap out of me. Sounded like he just felt uncomfortable being here. I guess I can't blame him. With the turn things have taken, the tension and excitement of the tournament was all but a distant memory. And this room was now a reminder Wolfgang died right under our noses. Why didn't Tosu fix the blackout himself? Is the maintenance of this place seriously our responsibility?
Not
The
okay.
fridge and pantry are restocked every day though. Can't things just be consistent? Whining aside, he made a good point. Why didn't Tozu fix the blackout? Because probably Tozu wanted us to find out the body. Did Tozu abstain from fixing the blackout because it was important to the killer? They could easily make their escape if no one could see anything.
Wait.
Oh yeah, Damon, since you're here, I've been thinking really hard about those footsteps we heard.
Come again?
When we were in the storage closet?
No, seriously.
Yeah, they were soft, right? Like the person was wearing socks. Now that you mention it, it did sound like sock on the hard floor. Of all the things to be right about, it has to be this. What do you mean?
Man.
I mean, why didn't the killer just wear shoes? Think about it. The sound of something like heels would be pretty distinct, right? Or what about sneakers? They get really squeaky on a smooth floor. And
Don't say that.
what I'm saying is, you could totally figure out the shoe from the sound it makes. And if you know what shoes the killer had on, you can just look for the person with a matching pair. But socks? Anyone can be wearing socks. The person probably removed their shoes for that reason.
Sucks.
Just our luck. I see. So they were running with their socks. Mark had returned to his position by the equipment.
Hi.
Hey, Desmond and Eloise told me you plan to investigate Wolfgang's dorm. Grace isn't guarding it anymore, so you can go inside now. Let me guess, you don't want to investigate.
It's nothing.
I just came here to make sure my interface wasn't damaged. This investigation could spell the difference between life and death, yet his priority was his stupid music equipment. Don't you think it looks suspicious, what you're doing?
What?
I heard people are already giving Grace the side-eye for being uncooperative. What might they say if they find out you have ditched the investigation? Oh, hold on! Jet called out to us from the other side of the room and ran over. Can't you see Broski isn't feeling well? Give the guy some space!
That's not important.
I don't care. I'm working on a time limit. Who are you to talk anyway? Judging by the look on Broski's face, whatever you guys are together,
Simple.
out of everyone here, I think you know the least about personal space. No way! Sure, Mike might not talk a whole lot, but if he wasn't having fun, do you really think he'd be hanging out so much? Come on, broski, back me up here. And just silence. He plead the fifth. Time. What time did the murder happen? 9:35 a.m. Check this. He pointed to a small digital clock at the top of the music pad.
That's...
Huh? Wait, why is it 9:35 there? This is the time of the murder. It was like this when I came back here. I think the clock got screwed over by the blackout. So now it's frozen on whatever it was displaying before it lost power. Then that confirms my suspicion. The blackout and by association the destruction of the generator occurred at the same time of Wolfgang's murder. DJ pad clock added to the truth bullet. Nice going, bro. You hit the jackpot. Bet it's cause I was here with you, huh? Sheesh, this was getting hard to watch. Cassidy had clearly spent a lot of time doodling this. She must be upset that we didn't even finish a single round. The first time people have a get-together and they're interrupted by a murder. Thinking back on it, the game tournament and the murder happened really close to each other. The former began at 9 a.m. while the latter occurred at 9:35 a.m. That's within the same hour. Taking another look at this whiteboard, yeah, I can see why the killer chose to attack so soon. 8 potential witnesses all situated in one place too, preoccupied with video games, to notice the world around them. There couldn't be a more perfect time to strike. Tournament timeline added to the truth bullet. May as well skim through the kitchen, just in case. Looking inside the cabinets, there didn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary. Except, one of the knife is missing. This knife block had a knife missing from it. For a kitchen knife to go missing, at the same time a knife is found floating in the boiler room's water? That can't be a coincidence. Missing knife has been updated in the truth bullet section of your Tozy trinket. No, wait! Wait! Oh my, would you look at this time? I dare say we ought to get this trial started soon. How does 20 minutes from now sound? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Please give me some more time, Tozu. Great, great. Please continue to investigate until then. See you later. What? There's only 20 minutes until the trial?
Hang on.
Damon. No! It's too short! How does she keep scaring me? The investigation is almost over. We need to find the other three and hear their testimonies. The other three?
As I was saying,
Yoshiko, Ingrid, and Diana.
Jeez.
Alright, calm down. Desmond said they were in the courtyard, right?
I'm talking.
And Diana's in the laundry room. Then, let's talk to Diana first, since the laundry room is in this same building. In the meantime, don't panic, okay?
Can't you see?
I'm not panicking. As she said that, she motioned for me to follow her over to the door. Ava might deny it, but the anxiety we had been bubbling up inside her was clearly starting to boil over. Although, with how fast my own heart was beating, I guess she's not alone. 20 minutes, oh my goodness. Those will give me more time. I don't have all the evidences. Imagine if there's a clock counting down from the screen. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. Diana was standing with her neck back pressed up against the wall, arms wrapped around herself in a tight embrace. She's even worse shape than before. Diana, I need to ask you a question. Please give me a moment. It's been kind of tough.
No.
The investigation is going to end really soon. We can't wait. Okay, sorry. Where were you during the blackout?
Oh,
The blackout? Right before the body was discovered? I was just in my room, alone, doing my makeup. You don't have any makeup on though. I was experimenting with new combination, so I wiped it all off already.
See.
You were alone in your room the entire morning? Yeah, I just wasn't feeling up to it.
sorry.
Sorry, I'm feeling a little sick all of a sudden. Do you mind if I go back to my dorm? I've asked all the questions I wanted to. Thanks.
So,
Suspicious! Do you think she was acting weird at all?
That's
No weirder than the others. Anyway, since Diana gave a testimony, I can cross her off my list now. Which means the only people I still need to speak of.
where?
I hope Ingrid and Toshika are still in the courtyard. We won't know until we see for ourselves. Alright, let's go before the investigation ends. Oh my goodness, the creepy dog! Ugh. Hey, have either of you been investigating? Investigating? Toshiko lowered her fan to reveal a pair of puffy eyes.
Unacceptable!
I don't know. What are you expecting me to do?
seriously.
To look for clues? Clues?
Impossible!
How am I meant to do that? It's not like I have had solved a murder before, you know. My hands have been a bit full, so no luck finding any clues. I can see why.
Moving on.
Okay, well, did you at least notice anything suspicious this morning? It could be a person acting odd or a strange sound. That's what most real-life testimonies talk about anyway.
This through.
A person acting odd? Maybe not at the time, but looking back, it definitely seems a little strange. Do you want to tell them, Toshiko? Okay, fine. This morning, I saw Wolfgang. You saw Wolfgang? When did you see him? In the dorm hallway on my way back from the pharmacy. From the pharmacy? The dorm hallway? Just as I was about to enter my room, I saw Wolfgang leave his. Oh, Wolfgang! What a coincidence, running into each other like this. Are you already on your way to the tournament, Miss Kayura? It's rather early. Of course not. A professional like myself knows better than to attend some silly party. Right, my apologies. What about you? Are you going to the tournament? That's correct. I'm going to the tournament. Excuse me? I'm just heading to the laundry room right now. There's a batch of clothes I accidentally left behind in there. You're not going there. You're definitely going to go to the boiler room. Wolfgang said he was going to attend the tournament.
Strange.
Yesterday he told everyone he was too busy to attend. I assume he'd change his mind. I had no reason to question him. I heard bits and pieces of their conversation from inside my dorm. The whole thing couldn't have lasted longer than a minute.
Big compliment.
Toshika and I are bunk buddies, by the way. Though I'd mentioned that in case Damon didn't know. Okay, thanks. Anyway, when I heard what Wolfie said, my first thought was, leftover clothes? I don't remember any leftover clothes. But I figured I must have been misremembering, what with my aching head and all. Aching head? I was suffering a terrible headache this morning. Couldn't even see 2 steps in front of me, let alone get up from my bed. That's why I had gone to the pharmacy. I was hoping to procure some medication for Ingrid. Not my proudest moment, I'll admit, but I knew I could trust Toshiko with the job.
So,
Do you know what time the interaction with Wolfgang happened? 10 past 8. 8:10. The conversation happened just a little after the morning announcement. That I can tell you with confidence. I have one question. How did these people know what time the conversation started or anything happened? Yes, 10 past would make sense. When the announcement initially played, I was just about to leave the pharmacy. Then she was already inside the pharmacy by 8 a.m. So Wolfgang looked totally fine when you saw him?
sure.
Yes, nothing seemed awry. Does that call into question what Grace told me earlier? Either Grace lied to me about Wolfgang calling in sick or she was telling the truth. And Wolfgang just got outed as a liar. I can probably deduce an answer. If I know what time Grace left Wolfgang's dorm, if she left before 8:10 a.m., then she would have already been out for the picture by the time Wolfgang made his move. Hence why she only remembers him in bed. However, if she left after 8:10, then she would have been there for Wolfgang's encounter with Toshiko, which means she lied about Wolfgang being bedridden during the period of time she was in his dorm. Funny how she never gave me that time. Toshiko's fetch quests. What else happened after Toshiko saw Wolfgang? That blackout sure gave us a spook. Toshiko and I decided to stay where we were until the lights turned on, though we didn't watch you and your buddies pass by. You saw that?
How should I put it?
Had it first, then took a peek. I would have said something, but still wasn't feeling in my usual self, so we watched you up until you all went down the stairs. That must have been how you found that crime scene, right? Yeah, that's right.
Too much for me.
Such a terrible sight. I can't believe someone here may actually be behind it. Let's just hope we can solve it. No! I'm out of time! That's... Alright everyone, that's time! Please drop whatever it is you're doing and proceed over to the Tree of Ignorance. Don't make me wait too long, otherwise you'll be in for a shocking surprise. Get it? Because your trinkets can zap you? Haha, very funny, Tozu! Anyway, just gotta move on. It's time? No!
Fingers crossed.
You two, go on ahead. Toshika and I'll catch up.
Listen to me.
Okay, let's go, Damon. Right. So, how are you guys feeling?
It's me.
Words won't do it justice. I'm feeling pretty bad. I can't tell you how I feel when I don't even know what I feel. I'd rather we save the talking for the trial. The trial. In just a few moments' time, we were going to be down there. Again! Down there in the trial room, fighting for survival, using only our words. Damon, get a grip already. Before the door in the tree opens, I need to ask Desmond if he has any new information about the taser gun. Desmond, talk to me! Tell me! Hey! His voice was steady, but his eye kept darting around the room. Did you check the taser? Right, I did. Any findings? Just one. The gun's blast doors were missing. The gun is used!
Huh?
Blast what?
Eh?
All of a sudden, the ground. Oh no, not again! Hold on, onto something everyone. It's time. It's starting again. The trial. The Tree of Knowledge, a symbol of sentience, intuition, and understanding, exists here only as a barren replica. The Tree of Ignorance emulates the wonder of nature but does not achieve it. And justly so, for ignorance often aspires to be seen as wisdom.
Shit.
Well, guess we gotta cut this conversation short. I'll explain everything during the trial. Let's not keep this goat guy waiting.
Holy!
Oh man, this is really happening. We're so screwed. We're totally gonna die. No! If you go in expecting to fail, chances are you will.
Game over, man!
I'm gonna think of failure even more because of you said that. Look at it this way. Where are the cards more stacked against? 14 people working together to solve a murder, or one person trying to lead everyone else astray. If anyone's in for a struggle, it ain't the group of 14.
Do you think?
You make a good point. Statistically, the odds are in our favor here.
It'll be okay.
Exactly. Luck will be on our side.
No, it's not.
If luck was on our side, we will be in a killing game to start with. Can I say something first before we go?
Oh,
What is it? It's a message for the killer. Excuse me?
what did you say?
A message for the killer? The person here who killed Wolfgang. Whoever you are, can you please step forward? Why? Huh?
I want to help.
We don't want to do this class trial. If you can just find it in yourself to step forward and bring this whole thing to an end already, then please. Despite Diana's pleas, no one came forward.
Come on.
If someone's determined enough to commit murder, they won't back down because of one person's pleas. Since we're not on the subject, I also got a message for the killer. Don't forget that the punishment fits the crime. Enjoy the death penalty. Grace spat out those words and disappeared onto the opening of the tree.
Can I go now?
Unsigned.
Slow down.
Yo, broski, wait up! One by one, people began to follow suit. I guess if it's time to go. We knew where the stairs would take us, and where the elevator afterwards would deliver us. But everything beyond that was shrouded in uncertainty. There was no mock trial awaiting us, no Fox murder designed to waste our time with stupid mystery. This was undoubtedly real. Come on, Damon, get a hold of yourself already. Taking a deep breath, I approached the opening in the tree. I have no clue. I only have suspicion. And descended into the darkness. I have no proof.